Today we have to discuss about the applications of Gauss law. In the last lecture we have discussed about the Gauss law, what is Gauss law, and we have find out the using the Gauss law we have find out the flux through many different shapes of the solid. So in this lecture we will discuss about applications of Gauss law. So Gauss law is very useful to calculate the electric field intensity due to a linear charge, due to a wire, due to a solid. So we have to use the Gauss law to calculate the electric field intensity due to a charged body. So first of all, our first topic is that we have to calculate the electric field intensity due to infinitely long thin wire. The wire is infinitely long wire. This is the infinitely long wire, and this wire has the positive charge. Let me consider that the wire has it is infinitely long wire, and this wire is positively charged. Let the charge it have a charge q is distributed. A charge q is distributed over it. The charge q it is given to charge q plus q is given to hold the charge wire. Plus q charge is given to the whole the wire. Then what will be the charge density? What will be the charge density? So it will be a wire is just like a line, so it will be a linear charge density. So what will be the linear charge density? Now linear charge density will be lambda will be charged upon length. Let the L be the length of the wire. Let L be the length of the wire. We consider a small length. Let small length L, we consider a small length L, then the lambda will be equal to Q upon L. Now, since why we use the first of all you have to understand that where Gauss law is applicable, so that we can find out the electric field intensity. Actually, when the charge distribution is symmetrical, that is when the charge distribution is continuous, only then we can use the Gauss law and we can find out the electric field intensity due to a charged body. So now our first topic is that we have to find out the electric field intensity due to infinitely long thin wire. So we consider first a length L of the wire, and we have to we go to calculate the electric field intensity at a point. At a point P, which is at a distance r from the wire. So what will be the electric field intensity? What will be the total electric field intensity? Total electric field intensity due to this wire. So to use the Gauss law, we have a closed surface, because Gauss law is only applicable to the closed surface. Because Gauss law tells that for a closed surface, total flux through a closed surface is 1 upon epsilon naught times of the total charge inside the surface. So we have to consider a Gaussian surface. So in the case of a infinitely long wire, we consider a Gaussian cylinder of the radius r. What is radius r? That is the length of the point where we have to calculate the electric field. So we consider a Gaussian cylinder whose radius will be r. Now we are considering a Gaussian cylinder. This is a Gaussian cylinder. Now we have to think over it. If the plus charge is there, so we at the basis of the cylinder. This is the base of the cylinder. So at the base of the cylinder, the direction of the electric field will be in this way, right? Because the electric field is always away from the positive charge. So direction of the electric field will be here, but the direction of the area vector here at the base is in the upward direction, right? Now the same case will be here at the second base. Now electric field intensity is perpendicular to the area vector. I think you will be clear. Electric field density will be perpendicular to the area vector at the basis. I think it will be clear because positive charge. This is a positive charge, positively charged. We have considered that the wire is positively charged, so the electric field is always away from the positive charge. So direction of electric field will be this one, but the area vector is always perpendicular to the surface containing the area. So so the ds will be perpendicular. The area vector ds will be perpendicular to the base. Thus, electric field and ds are perpendicular to each other. So, then if we calculate the electric field intensity, so we calculate flux through bases of cylinder. We are going to calculate the flux through bases of cylinder. So, it will be equal to, there are two bases. So 2 into integration of vector E dot vector ds, that is 2 into vector E ds cos 90, and you know that the value of cos 90 is 0, the whole will become 0. Therefore, we see that the electric field intensity through the bases of the cylinder is 0. So clear out, the electric field density through the bases of the through the bases of the cylinder is 0. Now we have to consider at the curved surface of the cylinder. This one is the curved surface of the cylinder. So at the curved surface of the cylinder, we have to calculate electric field. So at the curved surface, we know that every solid body, the electric field intensity is always perpendicular to the surface. So ds is also in the ds and E are in the same direction. That is, the area vector and electric field will be in the same direction at a point at any point at the surface of the cylinder. Fine. So we have to calculate now what will be the flux through the curved surface. So flux through the curved surface. So flux through the curved surface of cylinder, the first flux through the curved surface of the cylinder, so it will be equal to how much? Integration of vector E dot vector ds, that is the curved surface area. So it will be equal to integration of E ds cos 0, and we know that the value of cos 0, because the angle between E and ds at the curved surface is 0, because both are parallel, both are in the same direction. So it is equal to integration of E ds, because the cos 0 is 1. So if we integrate it, then we find that E into the integration of ds. The integration of ds means the whole area. There will be area of the surface area of the cylinder will be 2 pi r into L. L will be the length of the wire, which is 2 pi rh. The curved surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi rh, but at the place of rh we have considered is a length L. So it will be 2 pi r L. So this is the electric field density. Now we have to calculate total electric field density. The total electric field intensity will be how much? Electric field intensity at the bases and electric field intensity at the curved surface area. Right? That will be the total electric field intensity. So we have to calculate now the total electric field intensity. Total electric field intensity. So first of all, we have to calculate now. So first we have seen that the electric flux through the bases is 0, and electric flux through the curved surface area is E into 2 pi L. Sorry, 2 pi RL. 2 pi RL. 2 pi RL. So improve it. It is 2 pi RL. Now the total flux through the. We are going to calculate now total flux through the. So according to Gauss law, now we are using to Gauss law. So according to Gauss law, if we use the Gauss law, then total flux total flux through cylinder it will be equal to Q upon epsilon naught. And you know that the total flux through a closed surface is Q upon epsilon naught. So the flux through basis, that is flux through base plus flux through curved surface. Flux through curved surface. And it is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So total flux will be flux through the base and flux through the curved surface. Now flux through the base is 0 and the flux through the curved surface is E into 2 pi r L, and this is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So it is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. Now 0, it is 0. So E into 2 pi RL, and this is equal to what we have to put out the value of Q here. If we have considered earlier that lambda is equal to, we have considered that lambda is equal to Q by L. So what will be the value of Q? Q will be here lambda into L. So since lambda is equal to Q by L, therefore Q is equal to lambda into L. So at the place of Q, we write down that lambda into L upon epsilon naught. Clear? Now we cut out the L by L and we find that the electric field intensity E, will be equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught into R, or we can write it that 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda upon R. This is the electric field intensity 2 lambda upon R, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, 2 lambda upon R, because if 2 pi is epsilon naught, so we multiply 2 by 2, so 2 will be upper side, at the 2 will be there, and at the lower side it will become 4. So 4 pi epsilon 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and it will become 2 lambda upon R. This is the electric field intensity due to an infinitely long wire, and we see that. What do we see? We see that the electric field intensity due to wire is independent of the length of the wire. So what is the length of the wire? If it is an infinite length, then it is not also length is not considered. So if the electric field intensity due to a straight wire, either it is infinitely long or not, the electric field intensity depends only on the charge distribution, that a linear charge distribution. What will be the lambda, and also it depends on the radius, that is the point of consideration of the electric field intensity, that is the distance of the point where electric field intensity is